Hello everyone, welcome back to Total Football Talk, and hallelujah, as the thumb title says, do we finally have some good news to bring, because my God did we need some. But Bryan Mbeumo, we got the here we go, David Ornstein, or the David Ornstein Bomba has been dropped, and we actually have got the news that we are looking for. My God, have we had to wait a long time for this. We're in week 7, but the deal is done, and the information is that it is 65 million plus 6 million in add-ons. It was originally 65 million pound and 5 million add-ons, but we've managed to do it by adding an extra million on the add-ons, and Brentford have accepted. We've got the news that we have been waiting for. And how does that feel? How do you feel out there? How do you good people feel right now in terms of what we've finally achieved? Because my God, it's been dragged out. But not saying I'm going to get absolutely carried away, but 2 signings in now. Hopefully the deal will be complete and he can get on that plane for next week. He won't play on Saturday, but hopefully they can get the deal done across the weekend, and Bryan Mbeumo will be available for us come the American tour. But yeah, I'd love to know what you good people are thinking right now, how you're feeling. What are your emotions about this? We've been dragged through the ringer, but are you happy it's done? Are you happy with the price? Do you think he's worth the value, or do you think that we've overpaid? Do you think we've put too much on add-ons? I mean, you know, the length of period of time it's taken to actually get this done. What is it we're talking about here? 7 weeks. Are we gonna? How long is it going to take to get the next transfer? Are we going to do any other business? Well, we'll look into other things that are being talked about this morning. But as I said, we got the here we go. Happy days. We can now start to look forward and past this particular deal, and maybe look at some outgoings now, because again, boy oh boy, do we need to get these outgoings out through the door. But thank you very much for joining me. Everyone's gone live. Obviously, I am only doing a 10-minute roundup. So you could probably get all your news from someone else. I totally understand that. But if you are here, I'm Keith. I'm the host of this little channel. Thank you very much for joining me. And if you are enjoying it, please hit the old like button. Please give me the old thumbs up. Subscribe. Get your comments in below. And if we could get 10 likes on this for the here we go, that would be absolutely amazing. Okay, so this was the news that was dropped by David Ornstein, and this is Manchester United have reached an agreement with Brentford to sign forward Bryan Mbeumo. After weeks, a lot of weeks of negotiation, a deal worth up to 71 million, 65.5 million has finally been struck. That's 70 million. But yeah, the extra million was added on in the final parts of the negotiation to get it across the line. I have no idea what those add-ons are. We'll probably find that out over in time. But we've got the news, and Bryan Mbeumo will be a great addition to this squad. If you think about the type of player that he is, he plays in a Brentford team that have to work hard, and they have to fight for everything that they get in this particular league, and they have fought very well. Bryan Mbeumo being one of those people who not only has fought very well, but he's scored a lot of goals. He's very, very creative, can come off the wing, can play in the inside position. Potentially could play as a striker, but I hope what we're not going to do is play him as a striker on maybe auxiliary or an emergency striker, maybe in the odd case. But I hope primarily that he's been brought to play as the 10. Worst case scenario, plays out on the wing on the right, because he can get up and down. He knows how to defend. He's had to do that a lot in the Brentford team, but he is an excellent addition to this squad. In Mbeumo and Cunha, a lot of goals up front, and yeah, I'm very, very pleased that we have finally got the deal done. I'm still not happy with the length of time it's taken, and we have a lot of ground to make up in the next 6 weeks before the season starts. But that also includes with selling players. That doesn't just bring players in. We've got to find a way of getting Sancho out the door, Anthony, Rashford, etc. We've got to find a way to get some money in for some of them, if not all of them, but definitely some of them, so we can carry on trying to replenish the squad. But 2 in now, relief, hallelujah. We're making progress. But this was news that was breaking sort of late last night, and this is Benjamin Šeško is open to joining Manchester United, even with the club unable to offer him European football next year. What do you good people out there think? Do you think that Šeško up front in an attack with Mbeumo and Cunha behind him? Would you like to see that? Do you think that is a forward line that could do some damage in the Premier League, could drag us up the league? He's 22. He didn't want to leave Leipzig last year, apparently, because he felt he had a lot to learn. We know that Arsenal were keen. We know that it was a toss-up between Gyökeres and Šeško. We also know that he's going to cost a lot of money. So I don't really know if there's anything in this particular deal. But what I do know is Christian Favell has really good relationships with the RB Leipzig group. And he may have an insight, or he may have some inside knowledge that there is a potential way to get a deal done for Šeško. Now, would I like to see him? He's a bit of a risk. He kind of comes under the Rasmus Højlund kind of umbrella. He is a good player. I've only seen clips of him. I've seen him play a little bit. I know in the Euros he didn't really kind of step up. But again, he was quite young, 21. He's 22 now. He's still got a lot to learn. He's got a lot to prove in the European scene, and in the Premier League, it's going to be quite difficult for him. But he is a tall striker. He is kind of good on the last man, and he does score some excellent goals. And good with his feet. So he could be an upgrade on Højlund, but again, it is a risk because he is very, very young. So I'm not entirely sure whether we're going to look into this particular deal. I don't know. It all depends. It really just depends. I mean, there is talk. I don't have the title for it. I'll put this one up, and this was because it was coming from Samsey, who used to be on the United stand, and it was just in Benjamin Šeško is open to a move, even though I've already put that up. Apologies, but yeah, so that's where we are with the Šeško deal. Wanted to wait and see. We'd have to start moving pretty quickly now that the Mbeumo deal's done. I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure whether this will actually go ahead. I don't know whether we can start to make moves because he is going to cost a lot of money, and we've got to sell players first. And I think the Bryan Mbeumo deal has maybe taken more from our budget than we probably initially anticipated. So whether we can get this deal done, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. This was some news. There's some news, 3 bits of news floating around about the goalkeeper. And this is Emi Martínez has apparently got a 21.6 million release clause in his Villa contract. And United are willing to pay more than that so they can spread the fee. I don't know if this is true. I still think this is all from the agent side and Emi Martínez's side, as opposed to United actually being interested. That was coming from Sport Witness. And I'm not sure about this again. I just think this is a lot of hotter. He's desperate for a move. Villa are desperate to bring in some money. I think there are other options, as we shall see in a minute. Now, there was other news about Onana, and apparently Onana is winning the race to be fit for the start of the Premier League season. It's understood Onana's injury, a strain. It's a strain, not a tear. It's not as bad as first feared, and he's responding well to treatment from Manchester United's medical and physio department. I mean, yeah, Onana doesn't like to miss the Manchester United games. We know when he signed in the first season that he was desperate to get back from Cameroon and from the international the AFCON, and he had a private jet set up, so he didn't miss any game time. I think he missed 1 game in the FA Cup, being to pay it, but because he was away, he's desperate not to miss any games. He's desperate to not sort of lose the goalkeeping position. And yeah, obviously he's responding well to treatment. So take that as you would. What do you feel about it? Do you think it's do you think that's good news, or are you slightly disappointed that he's not out a bit longer so someone else can get the chance to go in and prove what they can do? And speaking of what they can do, there is talk of Manchester United being linked with Senne Lammens, who's been on Manchester United's radar for a while, and in recent weeks have stepped up their interest in the Antwerp shot stopper. Now this has kind of been floating around for a while. His statistics are excellent. Steve Howson has just done a video on him, and he goes into great detail on him. If you want to check that out, you should go on Steve Howson's latest video on that. He is an excellent shot stopper. He's very good. He's kind of the all-rounder. He's good with his feet. He's not brilliant with his feet, but he's good with his feet. Short passing's very good. Long passing's not too bad. He's very commands his box very well. Again, from the scouting reports that have come from other people, I haven't quite looked at this guy completely enough yet to be able to give you any kind of formed opinion for myself. But he is, again, young. He'll have a lot to learn. I think he would come in as an understudy to Onana. I believe the price tag is in around 20 million. So I think if he did come in, he would come in as a second choice goalkeeper, and that's only if Benda was to leave. And we know that Benda does want to leave. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that one. But as I said, he is an up and coming goalkeeper, and I think that's where we should be looking at we should be definitely looking to bring him in to challenge Onana and put a bit of pressure on Onana, regardless of whether Onana is fit for the start of the season or not. And then this is a story that's been kind of floating around for a while now. Ben Jacobs did mention this about 3 weeks ago, maybe on the United Stand, and the links are carrying on to get a little bit stronger. There have been talks on the player side regarding a deal for Epistutian. There's an understanding on terms and pathway United might have in mind, and that was coming from Ben Jacobs. Said, yeah, Ben Jacobs mentioned that on the United Stand about 4 weeks ago. He kind of dropped it into a conversation when he was speaking to Beth, and I he just kind of dropped it in there, and then they kind of moved on for the conversation. He's a very good player, and it would all come down to the kind of money. I mean, Brighton will want a lot of money for him. And I don't think he'll come cheap. Although I do believe he's maybe near the end of his contract. So one to keep an eye on to see whether anything kind of carries on going forward with this. If it does, I think it'll be the latter end of the transfer window and whether we can get players out the door. But it plays on the left side. So we already have Dorgu. We already have Shaw. We already have Amas. And we know that Diego Leon's impressing highly in training. So Epistutian, I don't know where exactly he's going to fit into the whole sort of the left side of things, but we'll have to just keep an eye on that. Good player, I like him, from Brighton, plenty of Premier League experience. So yeah, one to keep an eye on. Okay guys, there you go. Thank you very much for joining me. As I said, if you're enjoying the content, please give me a like. Let's try and get 10 likes for the first Here We Go I've done. And also, yeah, please subscribe. Get your thoughts on anything I've talked about. Onana, do you want him to come back? Who would you like to see replace him? Have you got any suggestions? Šeško, would you like to see him come? Epistutian, I can't pronounce his name, apologies. What do you think? Do you think it's a goer? Do you think it's going to happen? Don't know. Maybe. Get your thoughts in. I'd love to hear them. I'll get back to you. Have a good day. Finally, we have some good news, so we're going out on a high. And let's see what tomorrow brings, and I'll see you then.